Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not worry about the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is a question. And the question is to honor and obey. And the reason why you might be thinking about who or what you want to honor and obey this week is because we're going to be discussing a full moon that occurs on Sunday at 2 degrees of Capricorn. Capricorn is the traditional ruler of the 10th house of your career or your reputation in the community. And Capricorn is an earth sign that denotes perseverance. And that is because the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of time. It's also a planet that requires that you work very hard and not skip any steps in order to earn long-lasting rewards. So there are a lot of things that are connected to the sign of Capricorn that money cannot buy, such as honor and respect and trust. And so those things are the kind of things you'd like to have if you were in a big government agency or in a large corporation. So Capricorn does rule bureaucracy, and it rules administration of that as well. So Capricorns are dutiful people, and they tend to like to take small steps and be sure of where they're going or what kind of rewards they are getting together. And that is because Capricorn also rules pension plans, and it rules things that you are really yours after you have earned them over a very long period of time. So it doesn't rule anything like spin. It doesn't rule anything like an overnight success. It rules people who really are quite honorable and are sticking to their values and their principles. And that's why the title is To Honor and Obey, because after all, if you're going to be trusted, you have to know what your values are, and you do have to live up to them, and you have to be a pretty good example of what they are to others. And so all of that can be on your mind right now, because that full moon in Capricorn is representing some big challenges. And the reason why is that the full moon is in Capricorn along with Pluto, the planet of deep truth and psychological transformation and change. Pluto is one of the co-rulers of Scorpio, which is a financial sign. Those two planets are being opposed by 3 more, and they are the Sun and Venus and Mercury, all in Cancer. And Cancer rules the home and the family, and it rules real estate, and it rules things that are good for the masses or serve the masses, such as unions and Congress. So we can be dealing with our emotions on the one hand, but the full moon is actually in a sign that rules security. And Capricorns are very security prone. They are actually very frugal. In fact, sometimes a Capricorn can be rather cheap, and they're really good at looking for bargains. And the reason why is that a Capricorn understands the value of things that last over time. And for that reason, Capricorn rules antiques, whereas Cancer rules the home and the family, and it is the sign of thrift. So Cancers can pack things away for a rainy day, so they always have a little bit more than they need, and they can feed. Cancer rules the grocery business and the restaurant business, so they're always able to feed others if they have to. So home, family, and emotions are coming up against your business and career interests, as those 5 planets are all harshly squared by Uranus in Aries, which can denote somebody who wants to have everything all their own way. So if you are deciding that you've got to have it all your own way, or you've got to have everything on your own terms, and you're not willing to listen or consider anyone else's viewpoint, you could be driving a serious deep wedge in between your career interests and your home and family interests. And what I think is, if you're not willing to compromise right now, you really need to go your own way. You'll be doing it alone, though, because that type of an attitude is not a partnership attitude. So cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, all rule vice and virtue, right and wrong. So there can be a lot of people that think their viewpoint is the only right viewpoint right now, and that's why you've got to decide whether you're going to honor and obey whoever or whatever you really believe in. At the same time, there are 5 planets in the water signs, and they are harmoniously aspecting each other. They're trining each other. And so that same Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer are trining Saturn in Scorpio and Neptune in Pisces. And that means our emotions can be well grounded. It also means that old family friends or people that you've known since you were a child or people you've known a very long time can be standing by you, and they can be very emotionally supportive and even financially supportive of you right now. So that's really good, particularly if you're willing to honor and obey values that have a lot to do with your career or your reputation, or with the things, once again, that money cannot buy that are important to a Capricorn, such as honor and respect. And the reason why it's important to know what you value right now is because there is a planet that is at that 29th degree of fate, and it is Jupiter, which has been in Gemini for a whole year, and next week it's going to change into Cancer, where it will stay for another year. But Jupiter is at the 29th degree of Gemini right now. And that simply means, since Mars is in that sign as well, that the deadline is nearing. In fact, I think the deadline is right now for some sort of change that you may have been thinking about for a while. And what it means is that if you want to make a good change, one that is absolutely meant to be exactly right for you, now's the time to do it. And that's why that question of honor and obeying and deciding what is most important or who is most important to you can be seen quite clearly under the full moon in Capricorn on Sunday. And I think this is a time when we are really going to have to focus on practical reality and on putting food on the table or paying for things that can last over a generation of time, things that we can perhaps pass on to our family members. And so there is a lot of serious consideration that you need to have as we approach this full moon on Sunday in Capricorn. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, what it means is it might be you, Aries, that sort of wants to have everything your own way right now. And if you assert yourself, which is what you're actually very good at, you could be driving a serious deep wedge in between your career interests, as represented by that full moon in Capricorn, along with Pluto squaring your sun, and your home interests or your family interests, which is represented by the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer, also squaring your sun. And so you may not like the terms or the opinions that other people are voicing right now, and you may not really like the restrictions that you are being put under by management in a large corporation, or the rules and policies that are subject to change in government agencies right now. And that's why you can be asking yourself whether you want to honor and obey things that you don't agree with at all. And so if this is a time when you decide, no, you're not going to go for what everyone else is telling you to do, then you will have the opportunity, in fact, there's nothing stopping you from making some sort of change that is meant to be. And the reason why is those two planets in Gemini, Mars, which is your ruler, and Jupiter, are both sextiling your sun, Aries. So you could have a chance to sort of break away and do something that represents a pleasing change for you if you want. So I wish you the best of luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is simply a time when you benefit greatly by the fact that that full moon is in Capricorn along with Pluto, because they both trine your sun sign, Taurus. And that's good. It simply means you're going to get a very full look at your long-term security interests. And in fact, if you've been putting anything away for retirement, you're going to get a real clear look at that. And this may be a time that a deadline is nearing for you, Taurus, and that you would want to consider retirement or you could consider changing your assets in order to maximize your eventual retirement, which is good. If I could make a suggestion for you, Taurus, I really suggest that you think about moving. And the reason why is that if you own any property, you couldn't get a better time to sell it than now. And the reason why is because the Sun, Venus, your own ruler, and Mercury, which rules buying and selling, are all in Cancer, the sign of real estate, and those three planets sextile your Sun. And so this can be a time when if you sell a piece of real estate or property or any kind of assets that you own right now, that puts cash in your hand, Taurus, and it opens up a window of opportunity for you to go ahead and perhaps make a change that you've really had your mind on for a long time. Maybe the change was scheduled for later on, but perhaps you could go ahead, if you had the cash, and make the change a lot sooner. And I know that would make you happy. So this is a time when you do need to focus on your long-term interests, because it looks to me like they are very favorable right now. And if you can help that along, that would be a good idea. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is a time when, yes, a deadline is near for you, Gemini, and you could think of it as a last chance. And the reason why is because Jupiter is in your sign, but where it has been for a year, but it is at the fateful 29th degree. It will leave your sign next week, and it won't be back for 12 years, Gemini. And so you really do need to think about a change that you're dying to make, and the fact that it's meant to be is something that you do know in your heart. So whatever you really love, you probably do want to honor it. You probably do want to obey your talent and your instincts and the rules and regulations that go along with following a dream of yours. And so since your sign rules two of everything, it's probably something that you're already doing. But instead of doing it part-time, you may think that you'd like to make a change and do it full-time. And I think that you should. In other words, follow your heart, Gemini. You won't be sorry. In other words, you'll be honoring your own gifts and your own talent, and you will be obeying your heart. And that's what it's all about right now. And so I think that you'll be a lot happier. And that is why I urge you to go ahead and make a change. Even if you've been not planning it for a while, try to make it now, Gemini, sort of while the stars are with you, and take something to a next higher level, one that you're really ready for and that will make you very happy. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is an absolutely wonderful time for you, except that you are going to have to contend with other people who do not share your viewpoint on everything. And yet it's still a wonderful time for you. And how could that be? Well, first of all, that full moon in Capricorn on Sunday, along with Pluto, is going to be opposing your sun sign, where you have three wonderful planets, the Sun, Venus, and Mercury. And so that simply means that you, Cancer, are subject to change in rules and regulations or policies that are made or being reviewed by a government agency or a large corporation or management. And if they decide to change their policies, it might put a little crimp in your plans, Cancer. And so if there is a possibility that you can sort of settle in and try to avoid controversy right now by settling in at home a little bit more, you should do that, because that's where your heart is anyway, and Venus is in your sun sign. And so the good news is that the three planets in your sun sign are being trine by Saturn in Scorpio and by Neptune in Pisces. So you have financial and emotional support from a lot of people right now, Cancer. You've got a strong base of support. So this is a time when you should consider, too, facing a deadline and making a change that is meant to be. It can be something that would just make you happier, and it can be something that involves downsizing or getting a little cozier at home, Cancer. You would absolutely love that. You may not get everything your own way because there are changes that are beyond your control that you can't do anything about, so I wouldn't worry about those. And also with Uranus and Aries squaring your Sun, it simply means that somebody has their own idea of what love is all about, and it isn't what you have in mind, and so somebody could be departing. You just have to let them go. Because you can't stop them, Cancer, and that's why I think you should sort of just settle down and get cozy with yourself instead. You are looking at a wonderful year, but just remember, you can't control everything, so don't worry about it. Just control yourself instead and make yourself happy. All right, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time with that full moon on Sunday, 150 degrees away from your sun sign, which is an aspect we call inconjunct, that you may not be feeling as if you're going to be running up against changes in government agencies or large corporations, or you don't have any fight with management. And so what you can really be involved with is your home life or your emotions or a real estate matter right now. And you can be wanting to beautify your home in some way, or even get it ready to sell. And the reason why is there's 3 wonderful planets, and one of them is your ruler, Leo, the Sun, along with Venus and Mercury in Cancer right behind your sun sign. So in the background of your life, there can be love going on, and it can be love for your home or love for your family, or there could be very good news about some sort of real estate effort that you are involved with, or that you could be wishing on a star right now and maybe deciding to make a dream come true if it involves the home, the family, or real estate matter. And I think you should go for it, Leo. As long as it's in the background of your life and you can still do other things, I think that you should sort of try to go ahead and sort of be happy behind the scenes, because I think there's love and happiness for you. It's not out in the public eye, though. It's a little closer to you. And you can be doing something that really makes you happy, and that's all you need to do now, Leo, and not worry about the tension or the challenges that a lot of righteous people are voicing right now. They don't pertain to you anyway, because honor and obeying to you, Leo, means following your heart and doing what you can, even making a sacrifice for your loved ones. And this may be a good time just to concentrate on that. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a full moon, the one in Capricorn on Sunday, that's going to do you a lot of good, Virgo. And the reason why is that the full moon and Pluto in Capricorn are both trining your sun, and the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer are sextiling your sun. So the lights, the sun and the moon, are in excellent aspect to your sun sign, and so are a lot of other planets too, because Venus is conjunct Mercury in Cancer, and Mercury is your own ruler. So there can be some rather good news for you in your family life. It may not be about you, it might be about a family member though, or it can simply be that your home life is happier or more settled in one way or another. Or if you're looking around for the possibility of buying and selling real estate or making a move, the news could be very favorable, or you could get something on your own terms. The other part of the full moon, though, the emphasis, remember, is on security, particularly long-term security, is that your retirement prospects are looking great. In other words, if you've been investing, maybe your investments are paying off. Or it can simply be that management likes you a little better than you realize, Virgo. Virgo is the sign of modesty. They never give themselves enough credit for their talent. But somebody in management can be deciding to change their mind and be much more in favor of something that you want to do, Virgo. And so you could get good news about that too. And it may even involve some sort of promotion. And so you have that to look forward to. All right, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is simply a time when you've got sort of good news and bad news coming your way. You definitely are going to have a lot of challenges under this full moon in Capricorn, because the full moon and Pluto are squaring your sun. The Sun, Venus, your own ruler, and Mercury in Cancer are squaring your sun, and Uranus in Aries is opposing your sun sign. That is 6 planets that are all in harsh aspect to your sun sign, Libra. And that is why the title of the show is To Honor and Obey, because that is a phrase that would denote some sort of legal partnership. And your sign does rule marriage, but it also rules legal business partnerships, and it does rule contracts. And there can be a question now among a lot of people as to whether they want to honor a contract or whether they want to honor a marriage or a business partnership of one sort or another. And I don't think that the question is about money, although the excuse for dissolving something could be about money, and I think that would be just an excuse. The real problem is that some people can be really disagreeing about their sense of values, about what they honor and what they're willing to obey and what they respect right now. And so there you are, Libra, taking the brunt of these 6 planets that are all challenging your sun sign. And so you too could be saying to yourself, who or what should I be honoring and obeying right now? And you have a nature that does like to be in partnership, but doesn't the partnership have to be fair, Libra? Because I don't think you're necessarily in a fair partnership right now. Or doesn't the partnership have to be as well balanced? In other words, the other person respects you as much as hopefully you respect them. So there can be a real problem in a partnership right now, and it's you that's going to have to decide what to do about it. Other people can want to break away, or they can be trying to form a deep wedge in between their career and their home life, and you could be the person in the middle getting caught from all sides. And so you really are going to have to understand, Libra, that you are reaching a deadline right now. But it's a fortunate one, and that is because Mars and Jupiter in Gemini are trining your sun. And that simply means if you have been thinking about making a change that is meant to be, now is the time to do it, Libra, because it could be wonderful for you. And so if some people leave suddenly, others will replace them. And I think you should welcome new friends and new places to go, because that can lead you forward instead of miring you in opinions that other people have that you don't agree with anyway. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this can be an excellent time for you because that full moon in Capricorn, along with Pluto, your ruler, is sextiling your sun where you have Saturn, and Saturn is Capricorn's ruler. Pluto and Saturn are both retrograde or going backward, and that simply means you can be reconsidering some level of commitment that you have perhaps made in the past, and you may have to renew that, or you may have to go sort of beyond that, and you can really be thinking of how that will affect your home and family life and what kind of support you have. Well, you have a lot of support right now, and you can take something to the next level. Since everyone is facing a deadline for making a change that is meant to be, I think that you can't sit on the fence for too much longer, Scorpio. When Saturn goes direct in your sign next month, you will have to be really considering the idea of honoring and obeying what you value for your home and your country and your family. And if you value that all very highly, you may be called upon to make a sacrifice in the name of love, which could create a heavier burden upon your shoulders, and you know it. But you are beautifully aspected to succeed at that. In fact, nothing will stop you, actually. And so now is the time to sort of get off the fence and stop doubting yourself and go forward and make that change, Scorpio, because a sacrifice made in the name of love is love. And that is important to everybody. And if you're the person that can do that and make that, then why don't you give it a try, Scorpio? Life isn't always about how long you live. It's really about how well you live. And the bottom line of that is how well you love. And that's what you need to be considering. In fact, all of us need to be considering that now. The price of love. And the price of love is honor, devotion, and sacrifice. And I think you're ready to make it, Scorpio. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, this is simply a time when I know you're going to have to change, because right ahead of you is that full moon on Sunday, and you can see what your long-term interests are, and you know that they need to be bolstered in some way. With Mars in Gemini opposing your sun sign, you really need to make a change in a way that can represent something that is meant to be, Sagittarius, and you need to do it real quick before other people can attack you in one way or another. So I would say somewhere in your life you've got to make a move and sort of get out of something and on to something better, and you could do it in the blink of an eye. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, the full moon in your sun sign simply means that you are going to be facing quite a few challenges. Some of them could be at a distance and involve family members or a real estate deal. And that is why you're going to have to stick to business and not give in to sentimentality, but instead be very practical about your own long-term interests. And remember, just as I told Taurus, it pays to sell right now because that gives you cash. And with a cash in your hand, you can sleep better at night. So I hope you consider doing something that liquidates an asset and allows you to move in a way that cuts your costs a little bit, Capricorn. That way you can stretch your income. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, with that full moon right behind your sun sign, it simply means you can have your mind on long-term security interests, and you can be seeing that what you really need to do to secure them right now. I think you're going to be under pressure right now with Mars and Jupiter in Gemini trining your sun and Jupiter being at the 29th degree, where people can be wanting to have you make a change since you could be on a deadline, and that change is meant to be, but they can be pressing you or pushing you really hard. And so you, I think, are going to end up being very, very busy, Aquarius. And my advice is you can sleep later. You really have to respond to change right now because it's going to do you a world of good, particularly for the whole next 12 years. So don't miss any opportunities, Aquarius. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a good time for you to just sit back a little bit and understand that home and family and friends are worth a million. And love is certainly something that can be on your mind. So you are almost at a golden time period. And that will be within another week when Jupiter comes in to Cancer and trines your sun for a whole year. But you're not there yet, Pisces. And the reason why is that Mars and Jupiter in Gemini are squaring your sun. And you two need to make some sort of decision. And you're on a deadline about that. And that decision, I hope, is not involving fair weather friends, but is involving people that you really respect and honor and are willing to make sacrifices for. Those are the people that are really worth your love, Pisces. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week right here. And remember, you can see the show anytime you want on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.